You nailed it on the head there. And I'm curious to know, when you talk about that coaching a little bit, were you as comfortable in that role seeing the future that you thought you had in comparison to when you started on broadcasting? And I want you to kind of draw parallels and comparisons between the two.
Okay, so coaching, it was weird for me because it was such a weird transition. Like, I'm not lying, these are my best friends. It's Aginla, it's Strudwick, or not Strudwick, it's Aginla, Kippersoff, Robin Regier, Rhett Warren, guys like that, I I was drinking with them last week. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden now you're on the other side and you kind of got to draw a line in the sand. So coaching was tough that way. And I've got a lot of friends now that are retiring and trying to figure out their second life after retirement. And I always tell them, like, coaching felt like being a parent. Now that I am a parent, I really feel like that's what coaching's like. You can have the greatest day as a coach. You can prepare your players, you can do everything, and they go out and get just like they lose 7-1 and nothing works. The power play, the penalty kill. If I do my pre-scout with my goaltender and he doesn't stop any pucks, what happens is the players have amnesia. After the game's done, I don't care about it. I'm going for a drink. I'm going to go for dinner. The coach has to stay and answer to the owner and has to answer to the fans, everybody. So now all of a sudden you're cutting video and it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you've been there since 6 a.m. and the boys are having beers. They don't remember the game. The game's over. And so you feel like a parent. You can set your child up to go do whatever, and then they just go and either have a great game or screw it up. You feel so helpless because you're just watching from the outside. So that was the coaching side. As far as being an analyst in hockey, like the comparison, it's more you control what comes out of your mouth. Like, that's the biggest thing. I always say, like, my wife will say, well, how's the broadcast? I'm like, I think I did good. Like, as long as I didn't swear on air, I think I'm fine. Like, but for the most part, you live like that's the broadcasting side. I've always felt like you live with what comes out of your mouth. If you say something that maybe either crosses a line or maybe upsets a player or something, you walk into the room the next day and you deal with it. For the most part, the way I always present my analysis is honesty with respect. If we as athletes, you guys would know, we're our own worst critics. So if I allowed a goal, I knew how I screwed up. I didn't need a guy on TV telling me how I screwed up. But in the end, it's his job to go, this is what happened. So as long as you don't make it personal, as long as you show respect, that's kind of been my formula. And I think it's going all right 14 years later. So that's kind of been the difference of the two.
Hey, more hockey content. It's might be old, it might be new, it might be a full episode, it might be a half episode, but you can click these boxes because who doesn't like clicking boxes?